objection that you ever get about your product, about your service, about anything in life boils down to these 4 things. Time, money, trust. Or I trust you, but this won't work for me. So time and money are a limited universe or a limited idea. So they're just saying, I don't believe that you have enough value here for me to trade my time. I don't believe you have enough value here for me to trade my money, because they're very coveted on their money or coveted on their time. So you have to show them how they increase time, or they can increase their money, or get more value out of one or the other. And we're going to explain this in the other videos. So really it's a limited idea of I don't have enough time or I don't have enough money to trade for the value that you've created. And so we'll talk about that, and maybe this resonates as using a contrast frame and contrasting your value with the time or money that you're trying to get exchanged. The other one is trust. People sometimes just don't trust you. Maybe you violated their trust in the past, or maybe they just don't trust salespeople, or maybe they just don't trust your company. Maybe they don't trust your type of products, or maybe they just don't trust you, and we'll talk about that. And then fourth is I trust you, but this won't work for me. So hey, I like you, I think this is great, but I don't see how this is going to work in my business. This is huge. Every business thinks they're so much different than every other business, and so we get this a lot, especially in sales training. Hey, I get it, you've trained them over there, but this won't work for my business. My business is so different. And so I'm going to share with you how to overcome these 4 objections, how to overcome time, money, trust, or I trust you, but this won't work for me. And so really there's 5 methods that we're going to teach here. It's a metaphor, how to tell a story. Number 2 is utilizing case studies. Number 3 is the contrast frame. Number 4 is questions to reframe. And 5 is the agreement frame. Wheelbarrow method together, and let's position it right next to my sales communication strategy. So what happens is somebody comes at you with an objection, and why we call it the wheelbarrow method is that objection is tangible to them. It's real. So we envision them having it in a wheelbarrow. Now we want to nominalize that objection is what we need to do with all the strategies that we taught you. Now remember, there's 4 objections to everything. I don't have time, I don't have money, I just don't trust you, or I trust you, but this will not work for me. And so with all those, we need to chunk up to the bigger picture, and how do we nominalize their objection? And so we nominalize it with a metaphor. Do you remember the story I told about the copier salesman? We nominalized his objection that he didn't want to do business with me, and he already had somebody he was doing business with. And so I nominalized that objection by telling the copier story. So really a metaphor is a lateral thought. Now, why do you use case studies? Case studies work great for the trust objection, and they work great for this will not work for me. And so you want to tell a case study about all the people that you work with, and specifically if you're one-on-one with somebody, you want to share a case study that is a company or a person that you worked with that is very similar to their current situation. Now the contrast frame. The contrast frame you want to use, you want to chunk back up to the problems and goals and contrast the value with the time. You contrast the value with the money that they're going to spend. You know, an easy way to do this is actually just start kind of, if you're going to contrast money, show them all the money you're going to save them, show them all the money that they're going to make. If you're going to contrast time, show how you're going to free up time. And a great way is actually just kind of bringing this straight down, either on a yellow pad or just laying it out for them. Other thing is questions to reframe. Now, one way to chunk back up is really just get back to the problems and goals. What are your 3 biggest goals? What are your 3 biggest problems? If we went out 1 year from now and we were looking back to today, what would need to happen for you to feel 100% happy or successful? And so these will help you chunk back up and get them into the problem and goal mind space rather than chunk down in the details. In the details, there's no solution. Your product honestly does not matter if you could frame up how you solve their problems and accomplish their goals. If you can solve problems and accomplish your goals, the how doesn't matter. But most people lose sight of the problems and goals and are looking at the how. And so you need to keep them focused in on the problems and the goals. By nominalizing their objections and chunking back up to the problems and goals, you will do exactly that, and you'll be able to fill their wheelbarrow with your value and your presentation. Now, we have a great way to demonstrate value through our presentation format. That's on our e-learning platform. So I encourage you to look at and start identifying, how do I demonstrate value? How do I pitch my product? And so right now is nominalize objections. You got to nominalize the objection that's in their wheelbarrow and fill their wheelbarrow with your value. And that's truly how you'll become a master at handling the objections and closing sales.